the 42 assessors, going into deep self-reflection of our heart and seeing where our heart weighs. Is our heart light as a feather? Or are we attached to the world and we're carrying grudges, karma, personal attachments to the world and the way that the world is operating? That we are definitely discerning what we're channeling, who we're channeling, if we even should channel. And also, these energies are present in everyday life. There are plenty of people masquerading in this world as, pure, loving beings. But behind closed doors are full of greed and control.
He goes around.
Your spirit is a false guide is going to make you worship them. A false guide is also going to have you put them on a pedestal and make you feel like you have to only go through them.
I was going to do it
in order to have the power and connection to
We're
the
aligning,
source.
right?
God. And when you see yourself as an equal to Yeshua, remembering that you're both souls that are eternal in a human incarnation, and that you're both able to channel divine energies because you are one with the divine, you're opening up a whole new ball game of the way that your mentalism or your mind is now constructing your universe so long. And as I read this, I want you to think about the corruption that has been in this world, between trafficking, between the sexualization, between the children, like all these different things. Just watch. So the Orion group is a satanic force that has a predatory ideology that uses females as slaves or breeders, while seeking territorial dominion on other planets within their warring and killing culture.
Visible, being in the dark, being hidden, being surreptitious, so they could fight the fight they believed they had to fight against the oppressive governments of the ancient Orion systems.
Fulfilling and impactful life. By tapping into their unique gifts and talents, Orion starseeds can make a positive contribution to the world and help to bring about the evolution of humanity and the planet. Thank you for watching Starseed TV. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you with love and gratitude. See you in my next video.
In this lab, they could magnify the cells and manipulate them using their fingers through vibration. They reorganize the DNA patterns to balance them with the information from their own worlds.
From their own worlds. Boom, boom, boom. Hello, hello. Got my bedhead going on right now. Grand rising, grand day. Welcome all of you. And thank you guys for tuning in. Tapping into this live edition of Grand Rising with ChristoLight here on this wonderful Wednesday. And as we begin to flow, we are picking up where we left off in this series. And where we left off was exploring Orion's belt and the Orion star seeds, as well as the different agendas, mind control strategies, as well as artificial and manipulative tactics that these Orion group beings have used over time. And it got really deep in this last episode as we went really into the layers of the corruption behind this planet and the corruption of the systems that we've been in, as well as the different antichrist systems and what they look like. Really deep stuff. And if you're really into learning about that, check out the last episode if you can. Grand Rising of ChristoLight, Orion. So before we explore and deep dive into what we're going to be talking about in today's episode, let's go ahead and do a opening oracle card reading to assist us in our journey today. We'll be using the Magical Dimensions Oracle. Magical Dimensions have Fey cards, Galactic cards, Angelic cards, Chakra cards, as well as Elemental cards, all in one deck. It's pretty fascinating too. There's this cleansing portal that they put inside of the deck. See what the collective has for us today. And just a reminder for everybody too that these cards are just messages, they're probabilities, they're just energies to work with. Completely up to you and your free will. If it resonates, it resonates. If it does not, it does not. And that is okay. If you haven't yet, take a moment and take a deep breath with me. Take a deep breath. And release. Go and take one more breath. Get yourself centered and nice and clear and present. Let go of any expectations. Maybe anything that we've been feeling since we woke up, or anything else that has been going on this day. Let's just go ahead and breathe through it and let it go. Be present with this medicine, this beautiful knowledge, and this sacred space. Looks like we have two cards today. Typically it's one, but we have two. So the first card is, I'm going to turn the music down just a tad bit. The first card is Breakthrough. Breaking through. Looks like there's a portal there. How many of us feel like we're stepping through some portals right now? How many of us feel like we're in the midst of a new dawn? There's new horizons coming in the energy field. There's a lot being let go of, a lot of old closure, letting go. It seems like, I know for me, I definitely know I feel a breakthrough happening. And of course, what's happening within is also happening on a collective level. So our first card is Breakthrough. Leap of faith, freedom, new beginnings. The thing about breakthroughs is how many of us are going to take the steps to come through this breakthrough. Now, we have the opportunity to break through, but it doesn't mean everyone's going to, because there's free will. And you got to act upon your free will in the ways that align with embodying, breaking through your old ways of life. But if you continue on with the same patterns, same behaviors, same limited thought beliefs, same self-sabotage, then, every cause has an effect. But what the Oracle is telling us is that we have the opportunity to step into breakthroughs, new beginnings, freedom, leaps of faith. But again, it requires action. We got to take action to show this with the universe in this third dimension. So sometimes that could be journaling, doing a burn ceremony, It could be making calls and having closure. It could be making closure energetically and just choosing to move forward. This could also be taking the next step on your job or in your career path, following your passion. Maybe there's certain things that you want to serve or you want to create, but maybe you're afraid because of failure. Maybe you're afraid of money. Maybe you're afraid of clients. Well, take a look at those things and examine them if they are present for you, as those are the things that are going to hinder you from moving forward and taking the steps that you need in order to manifest and allow the unfolding of the true, passionate life that you wish. But what you'll find is if these things are already lingering and they're present, but we don't identify them and we don't do anything about them, then they can end up being dragged along in the background of our subconscious. And then it just stays hidden, tucked away, until it's triggered, amplified, put under the microscope. And the thing is that we'll be continuing on with life, but then those same patterns and triggers will keep coming back as we are trying to continue a new life. So may we, in this moment, just take a moment to reflect, bring out your journal if you need to, and think about what is keeping me from stepping through and having my breakthrough moment. Again, what is keeping me from stepping forward and having my breakthrough in my life? Is it my limiting thought patterns? Oh, I'm not capable of doing this yet. Oh, I will not attract the people that need to buy this. Oh, I will not have enough clients. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? You know, those questions don't really get us anywhere unless we actually dive into solutions afterwards. But if we're just thinking with our mentalism, these are my intentions, I have a connection with Source, and with my intentions and with my actions, Source will work with me to manifest my manifestations. It all starts with the mindset. Where is our mindset today? This Wednesday? Like, where is it really right now in this moment? Are my thoughts supporting my future? Are my beliefs surrounding what is aligned with what it is that I embody and wish to bring change to in life? Or am I just giving into the negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs? Am I projecting this onto others? Am I projecting onto my family members? Ooh, no, they'll always be this way. Maybe they'll never be ill. Maybe they'll never grow. They'll always be who they are. They'll always be my own. Be wise about that. Be wise about the way you're projecting your thoughts on others as well. So that's the first card. We got breakthrough. Not only embracing breakthroughs, but taking conscious accountability and seeing for yourself, what in my energy field is keeping me from fully breaking through into this new beginning of my life? Is it an old relationship I'm holding on to, even though I know and for months, perhaps years, that I was supposed to end this relationship? Is it, me constantly overdoing it with addictive foods and snacks that are keeping me from feeling good in the morning? These kind of things are all factors. Welcome in, Neo. It is indeed the perfect time to be alive. Yes, indeed. Divine Rising Queen, out in the other room. Lily just grabbed a pen and told to write. then guided here seconds later. Oh, wow, Danica, that's crazy. Wow, can't make that up. Good journaling day, I guess. How cool. Oh, shout out to Don Eduardo as well. I see Don Eduardo is liking the live. You're still here, Don Eduardo. One love, brother. I can't wait to see you. For everybody who doesn't know who Don Eduardo is a beautiful Peruvian medicine keeper from Peru in the Andes Mountains. He does a lot of tours around the Midwest area, specifically Kentucky and Ohio. And he will be joining us in the October Peruvian Shaman Retreat from the 17th to the 19th. And he will be our honorable guest, Peruvian Shaman. And he will be delivering a multitude of different Peruvian medicines for us to experience. And people will be able to do one-on-one healing sessions and much more. So reach out if you have questions. It's a rare opportunity, and it probably won't happen again the way that's happening. There are spaces still. It is limited spaces, but there are still spaces. So reach out and get on it if you want. So I forgot we were doing a card reading. Continuing. So just a recap, Breakthrough was that card for us, the first one. Remembering to embrace our breakthroughs, but to also remember if we don't feel like we've fully stepped through and broken through, to look at what it is that is causing resistance in our life to breaking through to the next level of ourselves. So the second card we have is Adventure. So Adventure is about innocence, play, and discovery. And what you can see is she has the golden key behind her. Then she's on the rainbow path, or the rainbow bridge, to our higher self, which is a beautiful angelic fae. You guys see that green orb right there? Yo, you guys see that? There's a green orb in the center of the fairy. Do you guys see that green orb? How cool is that? So we have innocence, play, and discovery. So basically what this is telling me is, you know, as you break through into these new levels of yourself, as you continue to elevate your frequency, allow yourself to adventure. Be curious with your innocent mind. Allow the inner child to come out. Try to allow yourself to be in a 0 point state. And what do I mean by a 0 point state? I mean, try to go into new adventures and new experiences. And honestly, it could be old experiences too. But trying to go into it with a very present and very unique perspective of this experience is not exactly what I've experienced before, and it's not what I'm going to experience in the future. But this present moment is a very unique experience that I will not be able to experience again, specifically this way. And when I embrace this mentality, which I do a lot, I'm able to really make the best of everything in the moment. You know, I try to maximize and make the most of the energy, the love, the potential of what's tapped into. And with that, it's brought me to where I am today. Always being curious, allowing my mind to be adventurous, to also see things in awe, and to see things with beauty and divinity, and to know that there's no right or wrong in the experiencing of this universe. But it's here to learn. We're here to grow. And You know, there's so much for us to experience, especially on the healing journey, especially on the awakening journey. So many different healing modalities, so many creative and fun ways to heal. There's so many wonderful people to connect with. There's just so much to explore. Music festivals, pop-up shows, different events, retreats, one-on-one healing sessions, finding different ways to connect with nature, ecstatic dance, cacao ceremonies. These are all beautiful ways to tap into your spiritual essence and that connective energy. So as you're awakening and stepping through, continue to adventure and remember that behind you, you're the one holding the golden key. You're holding it the whole time. And it is up to you to unlock your potential of your higher self in this human avatar. That was a really deep line right there. I feel like that's a line to be quoted. It is up to you to unlock the potential of your higher self in this human avatar. Hold on. It is up to you. I had to post this because I need to put it somewhere. I was like, it is up to you to unlock the potential of your higher self in your human avatar. Yeah, I felt like I need to note that somewhere. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna post it real quick. Might as well send the message out to everybody. That's what I love about this life of technology. We can just do whatever we feel. Spread our intentions in love. Ah, yes. Danica said the golden key of divinity. Yes. Yep, she's got the golden key right there. She's on the rainbow bridge. Downloading the higher self. So that's our collective reading today from the Magical Dimensions Oracle. This is what the deck looks like for you guys out there. So we have breakthrough, shedding the layers, stepping into new horizons, doing the actions necessary to assist this process. And then adventure, being playful, allowing our innocent curiousness and inner child to come out, and to be creative about these new adventures that we're moving into. And man, honestly, at this point, I think it's good that we get creative so that we can kind of filter out the narratives and the stories that are being propagated through the media. Because if we don't find creativity and fun in this world right now, you know, we're going to be getting caught up in that stagnant energy. And I say that because I love y'all. Spark of divinity within, ignited, illumination. What another good quote right there. All right, we are now closing out this space and moving on to our next part. All right, so today we are going to be diving in and exploring our next soul group. And it is going to be...
I've always wondered if we're alone in the universe, haven't you? Well, prepare to have your cosmic curiosity piqued as we explore the enigmatic world of the Arcturians and their celestial home, Arcturus. These mysterious beings have captivated the imagination of stargazers and seekers for centuries, but what if they're more than just science fiction? Arcturus, the brightest star in the constellation Bootes, shines 25 times brighter than our sun and has long been revered in ancient cultures. But the real mystery lies in its supposed inhabitants, the Arcturians. Said to be highly evolved beings of light and wisdom, they've become the subject of countless theories and spiritual beliefs. Are they calling out to us across the vast expanse of space? The universe is full of surprises, and this might just be the biggest one yet. What secrets does Arcturus hold? What wisdom might the Arcturians share? The answers may be closer than we think.
All right. So, yep, we're going to be exploring the Arcturians and their home Arcturus and the relationship that they have to us in this universe that we're in. So let's go ahead and deep dive and jump into ascensionglossary.com, which has been basically our main site of knowledge for this series. All right. The Arcturians. So the Arcturians are compassionate and benevolent extraterrestrial beings that are assisting humanity during the ascension cycle. In accordance to the Guardian Host's Law of One protocols, they are the closest example of our future humanoid family that has undergone a 5D ascension process that is similar to the planet Earth's current ascension process. Arcturus is the brightest star in the constellation of Bootes. There are both benevolent and negative beings from the Arcturian system, and they are the primary gatekeepers of the 7D timelines. The 7D phantom wormholes has caused problems for the Arcturians because it was used by the negative agenda and leads directly into their system. The conflict in this phantom wormhole is primarily with the Draconians, and we actually read about the Draconians in yesterday's episode. And thus they have helped to thwart many of the Zeta Draconian agendas from impacting the Earth's surface. As a result, they assist us in protecting and repairing the 7-dimensional violet ray, magnosphere, and rehabilitation of the planetary gridwork that is directly impacted by the phantom wormhole issues and the 7-dimensional crucifixion implants. Hence, they can also be considered the 7D plane gatekeepers or the guardians of the 7th dimensional plane. So yeah, Arcturians, due to their 7-dimensional energy, and as well as their protective and repairing energy, they're able to be great, what you can call psychic surgeons. They're really good at removing implants, removing crucifixions, helping you with distorted timelines, and helping you basically transmutate and alchemize any negativity that is in your energy field. And also, like I said, they're great protectors and guardians. So you can actually call on them to protect your energy field as well. Arcturians are always my go-to if there's ever an entity attachment, you need to do a removal, psychic surgery, things of that nature. So the third harmonic universe. For human beings, these consciousness bodies exist throughout the densities and the aspects of the higher self and the light body. So we kind of went over this a couple episodes ago with Andromeda. So let me click on okay. So we'll just continue on this page. So we'll go ahead and read a personal experience that Lisa Renee had with the Arcturians. So in 2002, a Christ ET group called the Arcturians took me on their light ship. They showed me a beautiful color, holographic image on my body being repatterned and rewoven through its multidimensional layers. I knew it had something to do with the DNA activation, but I still had no idea what all of that meant to human consciousness. It was a very sweet experience. I remember all we were laughing about. Later, I found out that they were showing me my future destiny working with the QXCI body scanning technology, and I did not realize it. Right after this event, I was instructed to the QXCI by several sources and realized it would be a part to play in my divine purpose. I was still making a living as a tax accountant, so I had no idea what mountain spirit would move in order to set me up as a biofeedback practitioner for the working with the quantum feedback scanning device. I am convinced it was the Arcturians that helped bring this technology to the Earth to help humanity heal their DNA. That's so cool. Her session transcript. So as the Earth was the experiment, as the Earth was the experiment, here you are on the Earth. You are in the laboratory. You're working with the genetics that are being held in your own body, that you are experiencing yourself on the Earth, while simultaneously in your spiritual body, the life form of, let's say, the Arcturians are being held by what you're doing here. So the future ramification of their experience is not impacted by the problems we have on Earth in a lower density. This is really hard to explain. I hope it's understandable. Because it's like being an interdimensional portal and realizing we are the sum total of everything. We are the Arcturians, we are the Sirians, we are the Pleiadians. We are connected to everybody in this divine angelic human form as we are. And because of that, we have an unusual consciousness power that allows us to be interdimensional portal to every single access point and vantage point that exists in this universal time matrix structure. And those levels of consciousness actually do not have the same access level. They have their level of consciousness and vantage point from where they are stationed in the time and space field, but they are not in the same level of physicality we are. Because we are at the densest and lowest point of this universal time matrix, it is like we can open a light tower from here on Earth all the way up through the higher vibrating realms, where a lot of these other systems exist. And they can't do that from where they are positioned in the field. So it's like all of it is happening here on the Earth, believe it or not. All of it. Everything that is impacting every single life form. Planet has existed in our universal structure as a part of us and is us. Just like when we talk about the extraterrestrials, there are other aspects of us that we have come to basically heal ourselves at that level of identity. As starseeds, many of us have come to heal the Sirians, come to heal the Arcturians, come to heal the universal DNA, because every single one is here on Earth during the ascension cycle. Every single piece of Arcturus, those form Orion, such as the praying mantis, all of these extra-dimensional beings, a piece of them, their DNA and consciousness aspect is here. So that's so cool. It's actually mentioning how the praying mantis comes from Orion, and it has a different spiritual form. It has a mantis, higher dimensional being form, and then they manifested themselves into a praying mantis, physical earth animal or earth bug for them to then experience and have a earth vessel to be their mantis energy on this earth. That's so cool. So, which means actually the whole of them is here. That means that once we heal the planet, if we can ascend the planet, hold on, some of this seems like it's really mistyped. That means that once we heal the planet, we can ascend the planet. If we can succeed at the certain levels of genetic experiment that we endeavor to, it's like it ripples beyond the earth and beyond what we can imagine in terms of the greater good for all. So basically what he's just explaining is that not only do we affect things on the earth, but we are also affecting the whole entire universe that we are a part of because of the ripple that we cause. And this is why the earth is so focused on in this universe. So the Arcturian 7-dimensional phantom wormhole. While capturing souls, capturing animals, capturing nature, whatever level of capture that would mirror an exact replica of the item, person, or animal in a holographic projection into another phantom dimension. This phantom dimension feed line influences 7-dimensional phantom Arcturian intersections, as well as the 7-dimensional logos and planetary brain cycles. The soul capture creates a probable future timeline of that person or animal here on the 3D Earth now, as its replica parallel clone is leading it towards its own pathway of destruction, into a phantom dimension of enslavement and eventual consumption by these negatives and controlled artificial future timelines. This is exactly like understanding the computer technology of a mirror site server. When one wants to have multiple copies or clones of the same website content accessible in many countries, they will create a duplicate of the original site and replicate its projection onto many internet IP addresses or vector locations in time-space. The soul captured technology was doing exactly that. The rod and staff planetary architecture. To support the change in the gender-affine rate of spin and to help correct the male and female rod and staff planetary architecture, starseeds have been processing 60 and 70 wing trauma that connects into Sirius B and Arcturian energies, as well as the Gaian timelines recorded in the indigo and violet ray spectrum. Wing trauma is directly connected to the Michael-Mary reversal networks and the alien machinery placed in the planetary grids that split gender apart, which are anti-hierogamic technology. Hierogamic is basically talking about the divine Christ, divine union. The hierogamic is the union of the opposites coming together to create the one, so to say. So that's the hierogamic energy. That's the Christ energy, basically. And then what they're doing through these reversals, the Michael and Mary reversal networks, is the reversing into the Antichrist energy, basically. So the result of this grid is to promote the splitting apart of the layers of sacred marriage that occurs at the 6th and 7th dimensions. Through the corruption of the indigo and violet ray, which is a spiritual ascension process of building wings, the process of building wings through the 6 and 7D horizontal intersection is revealed to be critical for correcting the planetary horizontal rod pillar for the masculine principle. So that kind of explains a little bit why the masculine energy has been very out of balance with the feminine. So then we have the Epsilon sequence tool. We can now begin technique 2, which is called the Epsilon sequence. This came to me during a time when the Arcturians were very present with me. At that time, they were showing me how to interface with the QXCI or quantum technology. The Arcturians are very technical and have some very advanced healing technology. For a time, they were showing me how consciousness can interface and influence holographic patterns. They were showing me how the holographic patterns, blueprints in the DNA, can be influenced through consciousness, giving a feel for how to work directly with the DNA for corrections. And this technique came out that time period. It is an Arcturian tool to seal the solar body, which can be really helpful at a certain stage of development. Wow. Then it talks about the level 2 triad, the sacred union or rod and staff union. Stage 1, karmic monad, 7D, Arcturian influence, inner Christ crucifixion memories, monadic extension, ascended masters, ET histories, monadic dark arts training, Cathars, human family of origin, genetic clearing, planet grid work, and stargates. Interesting. So let's take a look at the epsilon sequence. The epsilon sequence. Maybe we'll try this at the end, the epsilon sequence, because it looks like it's a practice that we can do together. That'd be pretty cool. All right, so let's check out okay. So let's check out the wing trauma. Okay, so wing trauma. So during the ending evolutionary cycles of Terra, conflicts erupted with those Melchizedek factions that desired guardianship over the spiritual power of the blue flame and decided to appoint themselves as the keepers of the blue flame. As self-appointed blue flame keepers, these groups started experimenting with directing the planetary core staff of the blue flame to achieve certain objectives, often utilizing planned strategic methods in order to gain power over others. The six-dimensional wing holders of the patriarchal Melchizedek faction violated their agreements with the Paladorian Covenant through power abuses when they unleashed chaotic underworld forces and then used them as a weapon to infiltrate the Egyptian Saris culture on Terra. The Egyptian Saris human tribe acted as the rod and staff holders that synthesized the unity code between the 12 tribes to hold the universal tribal shield. This power grab made by the patriarchal Melchizedeks contributed to the ultimate destruction of the planet Terra and the disintegration of the vertical blue flame staff. As a result, these Melchizedek groups were destined to incarnate on the earth repeatedly as the Hebrews, in which they would be required to make amends to heal these DNA distortions from the wing trauma in the 6th and 7th dimensional wing architecture, and thus learn their spiritual lessons about abuse of power through the evolution cycles of the earth. Some of these in the 7D wing violet flame holder group became known as the Ascended Masters that are promoted in the New Age materials. The architectural timeline damaged or generated from the destruction of the 6D wing as a result of the Terran blue flame staff disintegration required frequency seals and barriers to contain the field distortions, which generated further anomalies in the angelic human light body template. This distortion directly impacted the functioning of the heart chakra, placing a separation between the mental body, the conscious mind awareness, and the astral layers of the heart center. Essentially, the mental body and the heart center were divided in such a way that the conscious mind was not easily made aware of the contents of the heart, spiritual centers, and vice versa. This original timeline for wing trauma is very heightened during this time, as many awakening indigos are working to rebuild their light body wings with the recent planetary plasma activations by reconfiguring themselves to hold the correct positioning for the building wings, 6D, 7D, hierogamic initiation. The wing trauma in the architecture caused the split in the astral identity. The astral soul layer split into a lower layer and a higher layer. This astral body split generated chaotic emotional energies that remain unconsciously expressed as autoatomic system impulses, in which the individual is unaware or unable to control these impulses. When these negative emotions accumulated into aberrant patterns that remained uncleared and unresolved, the content grossly exaggerated the most primitive and animalistic of the instinctual impulses. Over generations, this lower astral body formed into a repository for accumulative emotional aberrance and traumatic experiences, which in turn formed into the shadow cells and the pain body that are connected to the light body. It is the shadow cells which contribute to an assortment of pain body problems, such as exaggerating or exacerbating, uncontrollable subconscious reactions, and addiction tendencies, as the unaware individual seeks inner relief from the build-up tension and emotional anxiety that is held in the shadow cells. The ego personality tends to want to escape facing the harsher truths in the reality and wants to escape the sensations of pain, thus avoids resolving emotional conflicts and negative emotions by putting up subconscious blocks. This greatly contributes to the phenomenon of a lack of self-awareness, which then forms into mental states of cognitive dissonance. This is a very common thing today. Oh yeah. Talking about cognitive dissonance, being disconnected from the light body and the physical body. One love, Logan. Good to see you. I'm just now checking the IG side. If you guys ever tap in on YouTube and comment on YouTube, I can pull your comments on the screen and everything, just so you guys know. Love you too, brother. Good to see you, Lunar Queen, as well. That wing trauma, though, that one really resonates. All right, we're gonna read just a little bit more, then we'll continue into our videos about Arcturus. So the curse of Yahweh. This level of the blockage and quarantine is what is referred to as the 666 seal, and is a genetic block in the 6-dimensional frequency layers, residing within the 6-dimensional indigo ray and the 7-dimensional violet ray monad, or the oversoul bodies and crown chakra, which is referred to as our wings. At the beginning of monad level integration, the 666 implant or Templar seal can be removed from the human light body. Essentially, this relates to the trauma of having our wings cut off from our light body and is related to the curse of Yahweh. The fact is what created many of the fallen angelics and the watchers trapped in the earth. So that goes into the Nephilim and the Anunnaki and so much more. And you can see this through, the Anunnaki and these other figures and how they write these scriptures and they write these different things about having to worship entities and energies outside of ourselves as separate. It's all part of the programming. Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely good to know that 666 has really many different meanings behind it, including, the makeup of a human being 6 protons, neurons, and stuff like that. But I think in this context, what they're talking about is this is more of like a, a mental phenomena, a mental experience, as in sealing people into their human anatomy and their human consciousness as their highest level and only level of consciousness to perceive from. And I think that's what they're really saying by the 666 seal, is that they're basically mind controlling and propagating humans' consciousness to only stay in the limitation of being a third dimensional flesh being and not seeing themselves as the creator, experiencing itself beyond the human form, beyond 666, but to think that you're only 666 and that's it. And yeah, like Logan said, it's not about good or bad. It's just about frequency and embodiment, and knowing what embodiment is what, and knowing what is a limitation for us and what limitations we're able to break out of. So let's see. Okay, we'll finish off here. Healing these schisms. To heal these schisms and rehabilitate the DNA, a being is required to learn about the law of one and practice the law of one principles to finally heal and embody the integrated spiritual identity. And the law of one has many different aspects and ways of what that means and how to embody that. Once all beings are proficient in accepting of this as the truth, as the nature of reality, these genetic blocks are able to be removed as the person is not an endangerment to themselves or others. The removal of the seal means that the person has achieved a process of planetary ascension, no longer required to reincarnate in the lower creational realms of the third dimensional Earth. This planetary quarantine begins to lift also means the possibility of more enlightened extra-dimensional races finally being able to communicate with our planet, as this is a sequential event leading the human race to join in cosmic citizenship as a potential peaceful race. This is an opening during this time cycle to be lifted away from these genetic blockages and miasma that have impacted all of humanity. There is no judgment. It's understanding our history, and the fact that we are incarnated down here means we have taken on the imprint as a part of the human race. If we have not cleared this imprint through our ascension journey, we will have the opportunity to do this DNA healing from this point now and ongoing at our own pace. Whew, that was nice. So that's where I'll leave off for ascensionglossary.com. You guys can visit that site anytime and explore as you feel. And just know that take it or leave it. Not everything will resonate always. And not everything resonates for me. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a little moment and take a break, hydrate, use the restroom if you need, and then we'll dive into our first video about Arcturians. Nice little washing to reset. All right, let's have some fun. You guys grab a little snack, maybe get some tea, some cacao, maybe light up the J, hit the bong, whatever you feel like, and enjoy. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch together.
Hello, this is Debbie Solaris, and thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about the Arcturian star people and their civilization. The Arcturus star system is the home to one of the most advanced alien civilizations in our galaxy. This is a 5th dimensional to 11th dimensional vibrational civilization, a prototype for future civilizations. The vibratory energy specific to this civilization acts as an emotional, mental, and spiritual healer for humanity on Earth, but also as a gateway for the souls of men at the time of death and birth. This energy functions as a transition station and adaptation of non-physical consciousness to the specific of the physical world. Some fascinating information comes from a book by Dr. Normal Milanovic called We the Arcturians, which I highly recommend reading if you are interested in Arcturians. Out of all the extraterrestrial civilizations, Arcturus stood out for their total focus in areas of psycho-spiritual healing and unity consciousness. For that reason, I'll highlight a few aspects of their advanced civilization. The Arcturians teach that the most fundamental ingredients for living in the 5th dimension is love. Negativity, fear, and guilt must be overcome and exchanged for love and light. The Arcturians work in close connection with the Ascended Masters, whom they call the Brotherhood of the All or the Fraternity of Totality. They also work closely with what they refer as the Galactic Command. The Arcturians travel the universe in their starships, which are some of the most advanced in the entire universe. In the Arcturian system, there are no extreme temperatures, with their worlds being mostly a higher dimensional non-physical environment. Their civilization is one that has transcended duality and lives in unity consciousness. Professions on Arcturus are determined by a person's vibrational frequency and the colors in his or her aura. On Arcturus, there is no competition regarding professions or anything else for that matter, so many Arcturian beings in this system take turns working various duties, such as processing souls that pass through the Arcturus Stargate, healing damaged souls in the Arcturian crystal temples, and doing technological work on their starships and also on the shielding systems that protect the Stargate. Quite a few Arcturian beings end up conducting further work as ambassadors, technicians, and healers. Even Arcturian starseeds who have chosen to incarnate as human beings on Earth tend to be gifted in these specific fields. Reproduction on Arcturus is not accomplished in a physical sense as it's understood on Earth. On Arcturus, it's done through a kind of mind link in which the male and female energies are first balanced, then create a portal in which the new Arcturian being is incubated, albeit energetically. Through this procreation process, some kind of electron force flows between the two beings, and it creates another being that is a replica of the link. The new life form is then taken to a special room that emanates the proper vibrational frequencies until the being is ready for integration into a family unit on Arcturus. Many beings from Arcturus are seeded onto other planets because the High Arcturian Council has ordered this as a great act. It's actually quite common for Arcturian beings to start off as a light or crystalline being on Arcturus, but then have many incarnations in other star systems, such as Sirius, the Pleiades, Mintaka in the Orion system, etc. Arcturians have developed the ability to transcend the ego, the separative, lower, fear-based self. Success is judged only in terms of the measure of light frequency. There are machines on Arcturus that constantly check the vibrational frequencies each individual on the planet is manifesting. The path to the realization of Source is the goal of every Arcturian and is reflected in every aspect of their society. Arcturians teach that love is the fundamental component of life in the fifth dimension. They teach us that negativity, fear, and feeling of guilt must be overcome by detachment and awareness and replaced by love and spiritual light. One of the reasons why the Earth has never been attacked by malevolent aliens is because of their fear of the Arcturians' advanced ships. These interstellar vessels are accumulation of perfection in cosmic technology. One of their starships that's stationed near the Earth in this solar system is called the Athena, named after the Greek goddess. The Arcturian society is governed by what they call the Elders, an 11th dimensional Arcturian group called also the Oversoul of the Arcturian race. They are respected by the Arcturians for their advanced knowledge of their wisdom and for the extremely high and refined vibrational energies manifested by them. Some say that they have wings, but some describe them more like circles of light. The higher the vibrational frequency, the closer one is to light or spirit or God, according to Arcturian belief. All Arcturians have an identical appearance, and they take pride in this because they have eliminated the tendencies of comparison and envy so present in human society here on Earth. Arcturians are the most loving and non-judgmental beings that one will ever encounter among the star races of this galaxy.
I feel so beautifully stimulated from that. Nothing like the Arcturian energy. And thank you, Logan, for sharing that you are a Arcturian oversoul, man. I mean, that's so beautiful for you to share with us. Thank you. And I'm glad you're able to feel tears of happiness. And yes, Lunar Queen, I love that you said that. Home is about to come to us. It is a data reset. Yep, these timelines are continuing. And, for some of us, I know my own self, I came from Lyra. And some of us souls don't have a home planet anymore due to certain activities that have happened in our universal organic timeline. And for some of us, we're literally taking the essence of our home and bringing it here and anchoring it and creating a new home here on the earth. And this is for many different souls from many different places, as well as the young and the newer souls here on the earth. It's a trip, that's for sure. There's just so many layers to everything. Arcturian is an embodiment of love and intelligence. Well said, Lunar Queen. Well said. So that's Debbie Solaris. She is one of the great pioneers that has been doing this for generations, talking about the galactic hood and all the wonderful things out there in our cosmic history. She's on Gaia TV a lot, as well as some other places. But let's go ahead and move into our second video.
Arcturian Mysteries Unleashed. The universe is full of mysteries, and the Arcturians are one of them. These extraterrestrial beings are believed to possess advanced consciousness technology that can help humans overcome their limitations and reach their full potential. In this post, we will explore the mystical world of the Arcturians, their philosophy, their technology, and their impact on humanity. Who are the Arcturians? The Arcturians are a race of beings that reside in the fifth dimensional and higher realms. They are believed to be one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, with a deep understanding of the universe and its mysteries. Arcturians have distinct physical and mental attributes. Arcturians are average to short in height, and their skin is either blue or white in color. They are known for having large, almond-shaped eyes and 3 fingers on each hand. In addition to their physical traits, Arcturians possess psychic abilities, including telekinesis and telepathy. They are able to move objects using the power of their minds, as well as communicate with others through telepathy. The Arcturians' advanced consciousness technology. When we think of technology, we often think of external devices and gadgets. However, the Arcturians' technology is different. Their technology is based on the control of energy fields and consciousness. They use their advanced consciousness technology to create and manipulate reality with their thoughts. The Arcturians' consciousness technology is based on the understanding that everything is energy and everything is connected. They believe that everything in the universe is made up of energy, and that energy can be controlled through consciousness. This technology allows them to create and manifest anything they desire, from physical objects to entire worlds. The Arcturians' healing technology. The Arcturians are also known for their advanced healing technology. They believe that all diseases and illnesses are caused by imbalances in the energy fields of the body. By using their consciousness technology, they can heal these imbalances and restore the body to its natural state of health. The Arcturians' healing technology is based on the understanding that the body is a complex energy system. They believe that every part of the body has its own energy field, and that these energy fields can be purified through consciousness. The Arcturians' healing technology is also used for emotional and psychological healing. They believe that negative resistance is the root cause of all emotional and psychological problems. They can use their consciousness technology to identify and heal these resistances, allowing higher frequencies to flow freely and restoring emotional and psychological balance. The Arcturian space travel technology. The Arcturians have highly developed space travel technology. They have spacecraft that can travel faster than the speed of light and navigate through other dimensions. Their spacecraft is said to be powered by consciousness technology, which allows them to create the propulsion necessary for space travel. The concept that time and space are illusions is the foundation of Arcturian space technology. They consider that time and space are merely perceptions and that everything in the cosmos is interconnected. They can travel through time and space utilizing their consciousness technology, arriving at any location in the cosmos in a split second. Understanding the Arcturian philosophy of life and consciousness. The Arcturians have a unique philosophy of life and consciousness. They hold the view that all things in the cosmos are interconnected and comprise a single, bigger whole. They claim that life's ultimate goal is to advance human consciousness and learn more about the universe's secrets. The Arcturians believe that consciousness is the key to everything in the universe, that consciousness is the fundamental building block of reality, and that everything is created and sustained by consciousness. They claim that by understanding and controlling consciousness, they can create and manifest anything they desire. The Arcturians also believe in the power of love. They know that love is the highest vibration in the universe, and that it can heal all wounds and transcend all limitations. Their philosophy is that by cultivating love and compassion, humans can evolve to higher levels of consciousness and connect with the universal consciousness. The Arcturians' role in the evolution of human consciousness. The Arcturians play an important role in the evolution of human consciousness. They are working with humans to help them overcome their limitations and reach their full potential. They are believed to be guiding humans through the process of ascension, helping them evolve to higher levels of consciousness. The Arcturians' role in the evolution of human consciousness is based on their advanced consciousness technology. They believe that by sharing their technology with humans, they can help them overcome their limitations and reach their full potential. How to connect with the Arcturians. Connecting with the Arcturians is possible through meditation and visualization. By meditating and visualizing, humans can raise their vibration and connect with the Arcturians' higher consciousness. The Arcturians communicate with humans through telepathy, and humans can receive messages and guidance from them through this process. There are also many resources available online for those who are interested in connecting with the Arcturians. There are guided meditations, books, and courses that can help humans connect with these advanced beings and learn from their wisdom. The impact of Arcturian technology on humanity. The impact of Arcturian technology on humanity is yet to be fully realized. However, there are already signs that their technology is having a positive impact on humans. Their healing technology, for example, is being used by many alternative health practitioners to help people overcome their illnesses and imbalances. Those looking for new ways to understand and control reality are interested in consciousness technology. Their space travel technology is also being researched with the goal of developing spacecraft capable of traveling faster than the speed of light. Debunking common myths about the Arcturians. There are many myths and misconceptions about the Arcturians. One of the most common myths is that they are here to save humanity from destruction. However, the Arcturians believe that humans are capable of saving themselves and that their role is simply to guide and assist them. Another common myth is that the Arcturians are here to take over the planet. However, the Arcturians are peaceful beings who have no desire for power or control. They simply want to help humans evolve to higher levels of consciousness and connect with universal consciousness. Embracing the possibilities of Arcturian consciousness technology. In conclusion, the Arcturians are a fascinating race of beings who possess advanced consciousness technology. They are masters of manipulating energy fields and creating reality with their thoughts. Their healing technology, space travel technology, and philosophy of life and consciousness are all based on the understanding that everything in the universe is connected. The impact of Arcturian technology on humanity is yet to be fully realized, but there are already signs that it has a positive impact. By embracing the possibilities of Arcturian consciousness technology, humans can overcome their limitations and reach their full potential. By connecting with the Arcturians, humans can learn from their wisdom and guidance and evolve to higher levels of consciousness. We love you dearly. We are here with you. We are your family of light. We are the Galactic Federation. Aho. This is a message to humanity from Aurora Ray, Ambassador of the Galactic Federation.
Wow. Oh, I just feel so good about these videos. So beautiful about these episodes that Spirit has given me to be a part of is, you know, it really reignites I don't even want to say the word hope, but it really ignites the inspiration and the truth of divine connection within me. Like it helps me remember that, yeah, we are not alone on this earth as human beings. Although all this stuff could be happening in chaos, all this change and all this stuff could be happening in the media and the world. And despite all of it, this divine connection of truth in these multidimensional layers are always available and are always available to be connected to. That right there opens me up to so much unconditional love and so much light of the reality that we're in, knowing that we have these beautiful guides and ancestors to connect with every single day, no matter what's happening. Such a beautiful feeling. So we will go ahead and continue into our last video, and then we will close out with a 30-second Arcturian light language frequency activation.
Arcturus is a star system located 37 light-years from Earth and is home to many planetary bodies larger and older than our own solar system. It is the fourth brightest star in the northern hemisphere and can be found in the constellation Bootes by following the handle of the Big Dipper. Edgar Cayce, a renowned occultist and teacher, considered the Arcturians to be one of the most advanced races in the universe. From influencing ancient cultures to advancing technology on Earth today, it is said that the Arcturians believe in a higher state of being and have mastered many aspects of today's modern age metaphysical beliefs.
The Arcturians are an advanced race that actually have come to help humanity at this time. They're known to be, in ancient cultures, the shepherding mechanism for humanity.
From what I've learned through clients deep under hypnosis, the Arcturians are living on a planet full of light. They often show themselves with very large, dark eyes with no pupils. They're about 7 feet tall, and they have 5 fingers and 5 toes. They appear to look bluish. Their skin looks icy, but it's actually very warm. And they often show themselves with a very small nose and a very small mouth. And the reason being is that they have evolved past the need to eat. They communicate with their thoughts into the minds of humans in a very non-threatening, very loving manner. The Arcturians are extremely compassionate and all-knowing and full of love, and they are here to help us in our ascension.
If you were to encounter an Arcturian, you would notice it's not very emotional at all. It's all pure logic. And that's something that they intentionally created for themselves. Over the past thousands of years, they have worked to remove the emotional element, the emotional aspects of their being, so that they can be more straight up, straightforward, logical, which makes it a little difficult for them to understand and relate to humans in our current world, our current society. And that's become one of the most difficult impasses between our cultures. And even though they might be a logical sort of entity, they still have this higher agape type of love that helps them to connect and coexist and ensure the continuation of species that need their help and development.
Neuroscientist Dr. Lana Morrow attributes many of her medical patents and technologies used to heal brain trauma injuries from her direct contact experiences with the Arcturians. Specifically, she interacts with a male named He.
So my first memories of the Arcturian nation was actually me in a very small incubator as a newborn. And these memories appeared later on when I was probably like 4 or 5. I became conscious of them. He has small mouth, small nose. He communicates telepathically. He doesn't really use language. I think it's mostly telepathic. Their cranium is a little bit bigger than ours, not too much. And he's very smart, very elegant in his demeanor, very respectful. At first, it was all around sparks and presenting himself as energetic field. As we got to know each other, he was very capable and generous in his spirit to shift his frequency into lower density, gently come down to my level. He now is appearing almost tangible. In fact, I touched his skin. I touched the suit, and it felt like gel-like substance. Personally, what I subscribe to is that we don't really need to label densities, or because I don't even know to what degree this is precise. I think it's easier to say that we all have the capacity to shift our frequencies.
Another extraterrestrial contactee is Debbie Solaris, whose experiences have offered her profound insights into our galactic history, including the Arcturians, who have been described in many different humanoid forms.
Some Arcturians have a commonality in their appearance. They tend to have larger heads, larger eyes, Their eyes usually have irises and pupils, so they're not like gray alien eyes. They have a specific humanoid look about them. Their skin was kind of a bluish green color, although a lot of times that might be hard to look at if you're looking at their auric fields because they have huge auras, a lot of colors in their auras. But for the most part, they're smaller beings. They're maybe 5 feet tall or less than 5 feet. A lot of Arcturians are healers, so they trained in the Christo healing temples of Patola. A lot of Arcturians work with technology. A lot of them are mediators. They're masters at psychology. They're masters of integrating spirituality and technology. I see a lot of Arcturians that have excellent communication skills because they were ambassadors and guides often to many different star systems, so they had to develop these abilities. They do have family groups, but they don't reproduce in the same way that Earth humans do. You have to be of a certain vibration on Arcturus to have children. Arcturians will oftentimes do like an energy meld. Only the highest level beings could teach children because they knew they were developing future beings that were going to have an impact on many different star systems. Arcturians do not eat. They ingest a light liquid energy to sustain themselves. They might sleep for 2 hours a night. They don't really need that much sleep in the same way humans do. They go through periods where they go through meditation and contemplation. So that's also very important to the Arcturian culture. I do see why Edgar Cayce called them the most advanced civilization on the galaxy.
So it's said that these Arcturians can live to be about 400 or 500 years old. That's a long time compared to human. But when we look at their biological cycle, what we see is that they self-replicate, like a self-cloning type technique. You see, when their body gets to be a little too old, or if their body gets severely damaged one way or another, a new being will form inside a pouch, a lot like a marsupial, like we know of kangaroos, where a baby forms inside the pouch. But this is an identical clone of the adult. And as this baby develops, it grows as to be expected. When it finally comes out of this pouch, the consciousness, the soul, the memories, the identity of the adult is transferred into the baby. And that baby now becomes a new version of that same person. It really is that same person being reborn into a new form. But because the original body or that current body no longer has that soul, no longer has a consciousness, there's nothing to keep those cells alive. So that body will just drift off and die as it lives on as a new being. Information about the Arcturians has been pretty sparse, but what we've been able to glean from the research is that there are 3 major distinct species: the Dislentiplex, the Devonians, and the Corendians. They are 3 distinct species, but they do have a common origin. Now, when we look at these 3 Arcturian species, we find that they are all very connected telepathically. They're connected so strongly that it can seem like they are all part of one collective mind.
Such good stuff. So I think we definitely have the idea now of Arcturians and Arcturus and the 7-dimensional energies that they like to carry into our human life and represent here in this universe that we are in. So if you have any comments or any feedback about Arcturians, or even any experiences that you've had with Arcturians, or if you're an Arcturian starseed, feel free to comment and start up conversation. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do our closing 30-second Arcturian light language activation. And then after that, we'll be calling it a day. And you guys can tune in later today at 8 p.m. Eastern for Ascending Beyond Limitations, the Raw Material, Law of One podcast that will be live. And I'll be with Sandy M out of Long Beach, California. So with that being said, go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Get ready to receive for this 30-second Arcturian light language activation.
Korek lednont, annik koreki ak. toki arik lakundak kurenka urk tok inaki lanaku onda nok nera kure lete kure tiki karo nok shiket kwa meka wala na urki.
Whew. 30 seconds is all you need. Wowee. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. I thank you all for joining. Thank you, Logan, Lunar Queen, everybody else that participated, shared your beautiful energy. And if you guys have any questions about signing up for my retreats, booking one-on-one healing sessions, joining the community, or even the reishi coffee that I distribute, just reach out and I'll gladly help you. Till then, wholeness and balanced love. Enjoy your day. Our founder claims, this right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe.